Today we visited Farndale, also known as Daffodil Valley. Starting at Low Mill, we take a scenic walk along the River Dove and of course to check out the famous daffodils that are out at the moment. We stopped off at a lovely pub, the Feversham Arms at Church Houses. Someone had their first ever go in a phone box, but did they get through? And finally, we had a look around the 19th century St Mary's Church before heading back to the start at Low Mill. Hello and welcome to another episode. Today we're in the Valley of Farndale in North Yorkshire. We'll be starting the route at Low Mill, following a 3.5-mile circular walk along the River Dove, taking in the beautiful sights of all the daffodils. Come and join us. So this car park is brilliant. You can park for £3.50 per day and it's just at the start of the walk. There's some toilet blocks to the back of me there and there's also a little shop across the road. Low Mill, at the southern end of Farndale, is a small hamlet beside the River Dove. It's known as the starting point of the famous Farndale Daffodil Walk. So this is the River Dove here, and for the first part we will be following this along the route. The River Dove flows through Farndale southeast to where it joins the River Rye in the Vale of Pickering near the village of Salton.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
The first daffodil bulbs are said to have been planted by medieval monks from nearby Rievaulx Abbey. The valley's daffodils are protected within the Farndale Nature Reserve, established in 1955 to safeguard the valley's famous flowers. The work of local landowners and the National Park Authority ensures that the daffodils thrive in their natural habitat, maintaining footpaths and cutting back shrubs to provide the daffodils with as much light as possible to survive and thrive. The Farndale Daffodil Walk has drawn visitors since the early 1900s and became a major attraction by the mid-20th century. Since the creation of the Nature Reserve in 1955, the wild daffodils are protected and picking or damaging them is strictly forbidden. So usually the daffodils come out between mid-March to mid-April. And as you can see, most of them now are in bloom and we're about 2/3 of the way through March and they look spectacular. So between the 1930s and the 1960s, there was repeated efforts from the Council of Hull to try and turn this beautiful valley into a reservoir which would serve the people of Hull with drinking water. Luckily, their efforts weren't successful, and the valley you see today remains the same and you're able to walk through it. Otherwise, we could have been doing a waterside walk today. If it had been approved, the dam would have been able to provide 88 million gallons of water a day to Hull and Sheffield. The reservoir would have taken up the complete upper dale and would have seen a dam built to the height of 40 metres. As we continue on our way, you can see that we're surrounded by garlic and it's got a really strong smell. So now we're going to be heading to the Feversham Arms pub at Church Houses. Church Houses is a small hamlet in Upper Farndale, sitting just east of the River Dove at around 150 metres above sea level. It lies 8 miles from both Kirby Moorside to the south and Castleton to the north. At its centre is St Mary's Church, a Grade 2 listed building first designated in 1955, which has long served the scattered farming community of Farndale East. So behind me here is High Mill, and it's a disused mill that's actually a listed building, and record states that there's been a mill on site here since 1276. So behind me is the Daffy Cafe. We've just got the kids some ice creams, and now we're going to press on up the road to the pub. The Feversham Arms Inn serves bar meals in its 2 dining rooms. Outside there is a beautiful beer garden with great views from down the valley. Today they had Theakston's Best and Farmer's Blonde Ales on. We've made it to Feversham Arms now. As you can see, we've got a drink. The views are spectacular and the food, to be honest, smells really nice. We're not having any, unfortunately, but we'll make do with a drink. Catch you in a minute. There was a phone box at the pub. The youngest wanted to go in it.
Right, lift it. Phone and set up.
Yeah.
Then you put your money in there, look. Right, we'll help mum there. It's chances. First go in a phone box ever. Is it ringing?
Hello, Grandma. Hi.
I'm on a walk.
I'm on a walk.
What? That's what she's doing.
What you doing?
Oh, you're in a phone box.
I'm in a phone box, Grandma. I think she hung up.
Right, so what are you having? It's run out of money already. 60 pence lasted about 10 seconds.
We finished at the pub now and we're heading back that way, back to where we started. Moving away a bit from the river, but ultimately back at the beginning. So we're just passing this beautiful Queen Victoria post box. You don't often see many of these old boxes about. Lovely. So you can see the sign for Castleton here. It's not our usual Castleton in the Peaks. So we've just walked up from the pub through church houses and we're just coming up to the church of St Mary's. Let's go and have a look. The church was built in 1831. The large chancel has a fine timber roof, low arch and Victorian east window. It was renovated between 1907 and 1914 by Temple Moore. Temple Moore was one of Victorian England's greatest church architects. He built more than 40 churches in a career spanning 5 decades. They are now considered to be masterpieces of the late Gothic revival, a style of architecture he raised to a new level of beauty and refinement. So we took a bit of a detour there, having a look round St Mary's Church, and we've now rejoined the road which we'll be following around back across to the fields. So we've just walked up a pretty steep incline there, nothing too bad compared to our usual, but we've made it to the top and you'll see a sign here. When you get into national parks, you tend to find that they are pretty well signed. So we're going to be heading off to my left into that field there and we'll be crossing over a stile. So as you can see behind me here, at the top of the hills there is the road that runs from Pickering across to Whitby of the North Yorkshire Moors. Majestic. So we're just following the markers, as you can see. We mentioned previously, when you're in national parks, they're quite well marked out, and we're just heading through that way, through the farm, and continuing on our way. And I must say we're actually enjoying this part of the walk a little bit more because of the peacefulness of it. It's not as busy and it's a a much nicer part to do. What a refreshing change the weather is. Absolutely stunning. So we're just passing Walled House here to my left and making our way back to Low Mill. So this bit might look a little bit familiar. That was the start there at Low Mill, and we headed down and we walked alongside the River Dove. So we're just heading back up that little bit of a hill now to where the car park is. So we've come to the end of the walk now. We're back at Low Mill and we're going to be heading back up to the car. It's been a fantastic walk this weekend and the weather's been really kind to us. So hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra.